What's up, heroes? My name is Sylarclone, and welcome back to the Valerie route of Ace Academy. Last time we left off with this route, we ended up just finishing our first match as a team with our first victory. We're celebrating now at Shou's place. If you want to take a look at part one, I'm going to leave the link to that in the description down below and up top, and I encourage you to take a look at that as well, along with the Kaori and Mayu route. So carefully, I weave my way into the kitchen, narrowly avoiding a dousing from a fruity drink. When I arrive, I gawk at the cornucopia of alcohol. I help myself to nice little beer. Going to always pick the beer option here. There's both a keg and cans of beer in the cooler. Gonna go with a cooler. Can't argue with something like that. That way you get a variety. Harsh memories of keg parties back home bubble up, and I relive the trauma all over again. Better stick with a can. I grab one of my favorites. Now that I have a drink, I should find my friends. Let's look for Valerie. I spot Valerie in the kitchen with some guy. Her body is pressed up against him as she whispers something in his ear. I already don't like this. The guy perks up, nods, then rushes out of the kitchen and towards the hallway. With a huge grin on her face, Valerie notices me and comes over. Her hips move alluringly with her walk, but she seems a tad unsteady on her feet. She's drunk.
Hey, you.
You are very much drunk. Who was that guy?
Oh, I don't know.
Really? Because you seem kind of close.
Forget about him. He's not important.
Not? No.
The better question is, what's a guy like you doing in a place like this?
Having a drink? Just getting a drink.
Oh, yeah?
She giggles and leans in closer to me.
I might have had a drink too.
Based on your face, you've had about 6. Aren't you still underage?
Maybe.
You shouldn't be drinking.
Oops. Well, it's a little too late for that.
Actually, the more I study her, the more I can see her drunkenness is an act. I wonder why she's doing it. So, I'll play along. Someone nearly bumps into us as they reach for a drink. Valerie frowns.
Come on, let's go find someplace else to talk. It's too busy in here.
I'm not going to argue with her. She grabs my hand and leads me to the living room. The couch is surprisingly empty, so Valerie plops down and pats the space beside her. I oblige her and sit down.
I hope you're not still angry with me.
Are we trying to have a serious conversation here? Huh? Angry about what?
About your core.
Oh. A little surprised myself we're having this talk. No, I'm not angry.
Good, because now that I'm your engineer, you're gonna be seeing a lot more of me.
Not complaining. Oh yeah.
Of course. Somebody needs to make sure that your core gets a lot of tender, loving care.
Along with other things. Hey, I give it a lot of TLC.
I'll bet you do.
That came out wrong. Huh?
I meant someone besides you. Someone with a gentler touch who knows how to treat it right.
Are we talking about the same thing here? Because I don't think we are. You don't know anything about my core.
Well, I'd like to.
Suddenly, I'm aware of how close she is to me. She puts a hand on my arm.
I'd like the chance to get to know it intimately.
She closes the gap between us, and I feel her soft skin on me. Her breath tickles my ear as she whispers.
Do you know where Shou's room is?
Maybe. Yeah.
Go there. Wait for me on the bed. I'll be right behind you.
I smell a trap. It's there. It would be wrong to say yes. Hell yeah. No thanks. It's a trap. It's green. It's a trap. No. She blinks at my abrupt answer.
Why not?
I know you're not drunk.
What?
And there's definitely a guy in the room.
What?
Genuine shock shows on her face.
No, of course not. What makes you think that?
Well, I watched you do this same thing to another guy in the kitchen.
Oh, you noticed?
I have been paying attention. Yep. A smirk returns to her face and she sits up straight.
Huh. Guess you're smarter than you look.
Just take the compliment. I'm not sure if I should be flattered or insulted. Just take the compliment. Why are you doing this?
Doing what?
You know what I mean.
I'm just having a little fun. It's a party after all.
But you're toying with these guys' emotions. Aren't you worried someone's gonna get hurt? Valerie laughs.
Oh, please. Like they're any better.
Huh?
A drunk girl and an empty room. The fact that they jumped on that opportunity means there was only one thing on their mind. Then who would have gotten hurt?
She does have a point. A good guy wouldn't take advantage of someone who wasn't thinking clearly.
I'm just turning their own game against them.
It's still wrong. You're a regular vigilante, huh? Your system might be a little flawed there. I want to be the moral upstanding citizen of it's still wrong. But at the same point in time, while her system's flawed, she's kind of coming up with some decent things. Although, I think I'm just going to kind of be, you don't want to do this because her plan can backfire. I can see your point, but leading them on in order to turn it back on them doesn't make it right. Especially since you're the one approaching them and suggesting the idea. I don't like that. She bites on her lower lip in thought, then wears her signature smirk.
Fine, I'll stop. But only because I've thought of something even more fun.
She grabs my hand and leads me towards the rave downstairs.
Come on, let's dance.
Okay. That went surprisingly well. Although at first I try to protest, she is persistent, and we end up having a great night of dancing and chatting. It's late by the time I get home and everyone is already asleep. I tiptoe into my room and collapse onto my bed. Exhausted, I fall asleep as soon as my head hits the pillow. The sun shining through my window splashes on my face and wakes me up. I stretch in a wide yawn and glance at the clock. Nearly 10. I'm glad I got a chance to sleep in after the party last night, but I don't want to waste my weekend. I hop out of bed and get ready for the day. What's my plan for today? I wonder what my brosif is up to. Valerie and I should get started on our project. It's the weekend. Project time. I go to call Valerie's number when I notice a text message that came in earlier today. It's from Valerie. Hey, I'm heading over to the park in just a bit. I'll meet you there soon to finish up that assignment. She didn't even confirm with me before going. What if I was unavailable? You weren't unavailable. You were there. Though I suppose she probably intends to finish the assignment one way or another. I better head out then. After making my plans, I head downstairs. I park my bike and text Valerie that I'm at the entrance of the park. Although she responds that she's close, it's still another 10 minutes before she arrives, dressed in a skirt and heels. She greets me playfully.
I hope you weren't waiting too long.
Well, I'm glad I waited because you're adorable. No. What's the deal with your outfit?
This is what you're supposed to wear on a date.
You mean she was serious this whole time? Check her out. What an impractical outfit. I'm gonna check her out. Why not? I eye her up and down, my eyes locking somewhere in the upper section of her body.
What are you looking at?
Look away, continue to admire the greatest assets in silence. Mosquito bites. Do we play it coy, or do we just continue to stare? I'm gonna continue to stare. Wasn't expecting a zoom. My gaze, it cannot be averted. Those supple humps are simply... Hello. A delicate finger pushes up my chin until I'm looking at Valerie's smiling face.
I think that's long enough.
I don't. How about a few more minutes? Like 10.
You don't get that privilege until at least the third date.
Touché. I sulk. Okay, well, we should get started. She nods.
What did you have in mind?
The assignment wants us to find the pillars of town which are in the heart of the park. So I guess we should start walking.
Good idea.
She grabs my hand and leads me deeper into the park. As we continue to walk, her pace wanes. You okay?
Of course.
Valerie smiles, but I can tell she's uncomfortable. Offer her your arm. Leave her be a gentleman. I hold out my arm for her to take. Here, you can lean on me for support. She shakes her head.
Honestly, I'm fine.
Suddenly, her ankle wobbles. Steady her. I wrap my arm around her and hold her steady as she regains her balance. She glances at me in surprise, and I think I see a blush on her cheeks. Embarrassment? What? Then her usual smile returns to her face, and she snakes an arm around my own, leaning slightly into me. Now it's my turn to blush. Soon we reach a large fountain. In the center stands a statue of a woman who seems to grow out of the water. Tears trickle from her eyes and water flows down from a giant pearl in her hands. Sea creatures cling to her dress, which looks to be made of foam. Surrounding the fountain are 4 stone columns. Valerie breathes a sigh of wonder.
She's beautiful, but she looks so sad.
I wonder who she is. As Valerie continues to gaze at the statue, I circle the fountain for a plaque. Ah! It says she is popularly known as Umiku, and she is the protector of the island.
What does she protect them from?
I squint at the plaque. She was a villager from Isokaze who was married to a fisherman. He was a good man, and the two of them were happy. But no matter how hard they tried, she was unable to conceive a child. One day, her husband came home with an unusually large catch. As he sorted through the fish, he found a young boy tangled in his net. Thinking it was a gift from the gods, he wrapped the child in a blanket and brought him home to his wife. Umiko was thrilled and immediately took the child like her own son. The boy was extremely curious about the world above the sea and happily adopted Umiko as his mother. Valerie kneels beside me.
But the boy was the son of the Dragon King, who transformed into a human and came on land to collect his son, and bring him back to the sea. But as his gaze landed on Umiko, whose face was wet with tears, he fell in love and wished to take her back to his palace beneath the waves. Umiko refused, angering the king. He reverted to his dragon form and called upon the ocean waves to swallow the village. One way or the other, she would be with him in the sea.
Valerie pauses and wrinkles her nose. What's with that face?
Of course a man throws a temper tantrum because he can't get his way.
I resemble that remark. What do you mean, of course? Pretty sure it's the women who throw tantrums. It's just a story. What do you mean, of course? Not all men are like that. She looks at me, then breaks into a smile.
Well, all right. I know one man who isn't.
Thank you. I'm sure you know more than just one.
Nope. Just one.
I turned back to the plaque. As Umiko watched the destruction of the waves, she agreed to join the Dragon King. Among protests from her husband, she threw herself into the ocean. Then the servants of the king dragged Umiko down to the palace.
The servants must be the sea creatures. That's why they're clinging to her dress.
I nod. Still, the Dragon King continued to flood the island to ensure Umiko would never be tempted to return to the surface. Unable to watch her people suffering, while the king slept, Umiko dislodged the pearl which granted the dragon his power from his chest and swallowed it.
Ew.
Yeah. Valerie continues reading.
Since then, Umiko continues to protect the village from the Dragon King's wrath, and in return, the people throw a festival in her honor.
Poor Umiko. Whoa, with power like that, I'd be unstoppable. The story has no ending. Poor Umiko. That's really sad.
Why?
All Umiko wanted was to be a mother, and the child which she thought was a blessing was more like a curse.
Well, at least now that she lives in the sea, she can be a mother.
You think so? I think as long as she has the Dragon King's power, she can never let her guard down.
I don't mean a mother for the dragon child. She's more like the mother of Isokaze.
I suppose that's true.
It's not quite what she wanted, but at least her sacrifice wasn't in vain. Clearly the people love her.
Valerie stares at the fountain, but I can't read the expression on her face. What did you think about the story? She looks unusually solemn.
She was put into an unfair situation and did what she felt she needed to do. It's very admirable, but it's also sad. Once the Dragon King showed up, Umiko's life was no longer her own to live. But at least she hasn't been forgotten.
That's true. I'm curious about the festival they throw in her honor. Do you know anything about it? She shakes her head.
Maybe we'll learn more about her in class.
Speaking of class, we should probably get started on those pillars. Valerie snaps to attention.
Right.
We wander the corners of the fountain where each pillar stands. A word is carved into each of them. Benevolence, achievement, honor, and virtue. I pull out my phone and take a picture of each column.
Ooh, are you keeping a memento of our date because you're having such a good time?
Maybe. It's not a date. Valerie just laughs. And no, I'm doing the assignment. The next step is to define what we think each pillar means.
Okay.
Any ideas?
For which one?
Benevolence, achievement, fortitude, abstinence. Never mind. Achievement. She seems like an achievement kind of gal. Achievement.
I think it means we mustn't squander the life we are given. Each goal we achieve, be it small or large, brings us one step closer to fulfillment.
After all, you never know when a Dragon King will fall in love with you.
And ruin your life forever.
True. Well then. What about benevolence?
I think, just like its definition, it's a reminder to do kindly unto others.
Kinda like Umiko's sacrifice. She put her own wants and needs aside to take care of her village.
I don't know how much of it was sacrifice, since she was forced into it.
Technically, she did have a choice. She could either go with them into the ocean or die with everyone on the shore.
That's not much of a choice.
Still counts. Lawyered. Valerie frowns as she crosses her arms. Calm down, Cowrie. Valerie bursts out laughing.
She does that quite a bit, doesn't she?
All the time. What about fortitude?
It's pretty straightforward. It's perseverance. And I think it's mostly geared towards mental and emotional perseverance instead of physical. Even when times are hard, we must remember to keep moving forward and to always have hope.
Valerie looks thoughtful.
I wonder if Umiko's husband always hoped that she would come back to him, or if he gave up on her.
I don't know.
I think he probably gave up as soon as the Dragon King set his sights on her.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Valerie just shrugs. And abstinence. Valerie smirks.
No.
It's not about sex. She winks.
I know. It's about self-restraint. Especially during times of low supplies, people should strive to control their indulgences.
I'm sure this became a pillar back when the village suffered from floods and bad harvests, like in Umiko's story.
I agree.
Valerie looks amused.
Well, the rest of the project should be a breeze now that I've done all the hard work.
That wasn't my intention. I was just curious what your interpretation of the words are and if they are the same as mine.
Of course.
She winks. But I really am just curious. Since we've gotten all our pictures, let's head back.
Sure.
Valerie nods and starts walking. Suddenly, she stumbles.
Ah!
I rush to her. What happened? Are you okay?
No!
She holds up the remains of her shoe.
My heel broke!
What?
Do you know how hard it is to find the perfect pair of heels?
No. I can honestly say that I do not. She sighs, slips off her broken shoe, and balances on one foot. Maybe we should head back. We got the pictures and can finish the rest of the project later.
Yeah.
She hesitates, reluctant to let her bare foot touch the ground. Why? I have a solution. Oh, this is going to be great. I'll carry you, okay? Not a bad solution to this problem.
No, you don't have to. I can walk.
She puts down a tentative foot and takes a couple of uneven steps. I sling an arm around her waist. And up we go. Oh, that actually looks like she got hurt there a little bit too. That's not good. She glances at me.
What are you doing?
Picking you up.
Wouldn't it be easier for me to jump on your back?
Nah. This way you won't slip. Only the princess treatment for you. This is easier for me. She gets the princess treatment. That's no way to treat a princess. Valerie giggles.
I like the way you think.
Exactly. She doesn't protest as I lift her in my arms. Valerie falls silent, and I can't help but wonder what she is thinking. Without her sharp tongue, she seems strangely vulnerable. Once we reach my bike, her eyes grow wide.
That's your bike?
For a second, I'd forgotten about the rainbow sparkles. It doesn't usually look like this. Valerie doesn't even try to hold her laughter in. Tears form in her eyes.
Uh-huh. Are you sure you don't have any experience picking out heels?
It sounds to me like you're able to walk on your own now, so...
No! I'm sorry.
That's what I thought. Valerie clings to me and buries her face in my shirt, trying to calm her laughter. Once she's calmed down, I gently place her on the back of my bike and climb on in front of her. Without my prompting, she wraps her arms around me. I'm suddenly glad she can't see my face. It's beet red. It seems like this isn't your first time on a bike.
No. My mother had a boyfriend who drove a motorcycle back in France, so I got used to riding one.
Had?
Yes.
Valerie doesn't offer up an explanation, so I start the engine and head back to Ace. She leans on me the entire ride back. Soon, I'm parking my bike at Ace. I can take you to your dorm. As I slide off, I hold out my arms, but Valerie shakes her head. She hops off the bike and flashes me her usual smirk.
It's only our first date. Way too early to be bringing poison to my room.
Not the intention. It's not a date. She smiles and kisses me on the cheek. Now it is.
Thank you for taking me home.
Yeah, maybe she'll give me another kiss. Ignore the kiss. She's, damn, what? My cheeks burn and I suddenly can't remember how to speak. Oh, sure. I'm never gonna wash this cheek now. Valerie giggles.
I'll have the project done tonight. This is my way of thanking you for being such a gentleman. You can look everything over and turn it in.
Wait, you're not doing all of it, are you? Valerie merely smiles.
Anyway, this was nice. Let's do it again sometime.
Agreed. Yeah, I'd like that.
I will wear sturdier shoes.
I'd like that too. She laughs and slips the other shoe off her foot. Then she waves goodbye as she heads back to her dorm. I still don't think it's fair for Valerie to do the whole project herself, but if that's what she wants, then I can't stop her. I'll just be sure to help with revisions. I hop back on my bike and head home. Time passes in a blur, and suddenly it's been a month since Nikki and I moved to Izokaze and I started at Ace Academy. My team and I are stronger than ever, and our winning streak has not been broken. Kaori, Shou, Mayu, and I spend many evenings practicing in the hangar, learning how to anticipate each other's needs on the field. Yuna continues to manage our sponsorship from Shou, and she's become more comfortable with the team. Valerie works hard behind the scenes to continually update our gears, and after all the tweaks she had given Eagle, I'm more confident than ever in my mech's abilities. I've had a surprising number of companies reach out to me to partner and research my core, but I've declined each invitation. I don't feel comfortable having strangers poke and prod at my dad's legacy, especially when I don't understand what's going on myself. Aside from updating my gear, Valerie has spent a majority of her free time investigating my core, under supervision. She hasn't touched anything she shouldn't, I think. I'm a little surprised by her focus. When she puts her mind to something, she will stop at nothing to get results. On the home front, Uncle Kaito is still as busy as ever now that his newly opened cafe has become insanely popular. Nikki spends most of her time at her school's cooking club, which has gained a lot of traction among the students. Sadly, that means I've had to fend for myself when it comes to food. I've still got some time before I head home tonight. Let's see what Valerie's doing. I wonder what Valerie is up to. I dial her number and wait for her to answer.
Hello?
Hey, Valerie. You busy?
Yeah, I'm about to go meet a friend for some coffee.
I have a feeling I know who it is. You mean me?
Of course. I'll meet you at the cafe, in front of the bookstore.
Sounds like a plan. I'll see you in a bit.
Au revoir.
I make my way to the cafe. Valerie is waiting for me in a booth by the time I arrive.
It's rude to keep a lady waiting.
I'm sorry, you, a lady. Stare her down. Up, gomenasai. I'm sorry. I got here as fast as I could.
Oh, alright. I'll forgive you then. But only because you were so eager to see me.
How could I not be? She winks at me. Have you ordered yet?
No, I was waiting for a certain someone to get their butt over here.
So, what I'm hearing is you want to see my butt. Valerie smirks.
Give me a twirl then.
Change the topic. I put the Maximus in Gluteus Maximus. I won't fall for it. I'll just do a twirl. Why not? Without hesitation, I jump to my feet and give her a leisurely turn. Then throw in a small wiggle for good measure. Valerie works hard to keep a straight face.
That just made the wait worth it.
I knew it would. I flip open the menu and take a minute to read my options. Valerie and I both place our orders. Then she pulls out a pencil and sketchbook. What are you doing?
Not me, you.
Huh? She pushes the sketchbook towards me and grins playfully.
I want you to draw me like one of your French girls.
You're the only French girl for me. I can try it. As you wish. As you wish, yes, ma'am. If you insist. But you'll have to disrobe first, as all of my French girls are painted in their purest form. I should have seen that one coming. Valerie grins devilishly and slips one shoulder out of her jacket, then another. My eyes widen as I drink in the scene. I can't believe that worked. Thank you, God. She slowly shimmies her arms out of the jacket.
Okay, I've disrobed for you.
She laughs at my look of disappointment. She leans onto the table, rests her chin in her hands, and flashes me a warm smile. Taking this as my cue to start drawing, I clumsily trace the pencil around the page. As hard as I try, my uncoordinated fingers can't illustrate what my eyes see.
Are you done yet?
Valerie speaks through her teeth, trying not to disturb her pose. No. I continue to sketch. After a few minutes, Valerie tries again.
How about now?
Still no. She waits another couple of minutes.
Now?
Calm down. It'll be done when it's done. She sighs heavily.
The things I have to do for you.
You wanted me to do this. In case you forgot, you're the one who asked me to draw you. You can't rush these things.
Shouldn't you be concentrating? What are you doing talking to me?
You are the one talking to me.
If you spent more time on your drawing and less time blaming me for things, you'd be done by now.
I glare at her. She winks before returning to her pose. We fall silent as I work on the drawing. Valerie stares confidently at me, never looking away when I glance up at her. For some reason, that makes me even more nervous. I push away my embarrassment and focus on her features. For all the times I've looked at her, I haven't really seen just how perfectly her features flow into each other. It's the first time I've noticed just how truly beautiful she is, and my face flushes from the thought. The next time I glance up at Valerie, her smile looks more genuine. I know she saw me blush, and that makes me blush even more. After a few more minutes, I drop my pencil. Okay, done. Valerie breaks from her pose.
Let me see.
Pushing forward the sketchbook, I wonder if she'll like that I drew her with tiggle bitties as accurately as possible, like an ironing board. I'm gonna go with here as accurately as possible. With the drawings from earlier, she likes the realism, it seems, so as accurately as possible. She stares at the drawing and her eyes grow wide. She grabs the sketchbook off the table and studies it closely. I hope it's okay.
This is more than okay. It's really good.
I blink. I anticipated she'd use a lot of choice words, but good was not one of them. Really?
Yeah, you really captured the eyes. They're so expressive.
Do they look like they're up to no good? She laughs.
They look like they only do good. All the time.
Then I guess I've still got a long way to go. She continues to look at the drawing. You really think it's that good?
Mm-hmm. It's really pretty.
Well, you're pretty. I had a good model. I just drew what I saw. She hugs the sketchpad to her chest and beams. Well, it's good to know that if this whole engineering thing doesn't work out, you can always fall back on a modeling career.
I'll keep that in mind.
Her cheeks are tinged pink. I think she's genuinely flattered. Valerie glances at the time and wrinkles her nose.
I've got class soon.
Don't sound so excited about it.
It's not a fun one.
Which one is it?
Introduction to Art History.
You're right. Don't you like art?
I do. And since I also like history, I thought this would be a good choice for one of my electives.
So why the disappointment?
Well, it turns out that although I like history and I like actually creating art, learning about other people creating art is not as fun.
So was watching me create art for you today not fun either? She smirks.
That doesn't count. I was part of the creative process.
That's true. She glances again at the time and gathers her things.
Okay, I've got to head out.
I nod. After we pay for our drinks, we head our separate ways, but not before I catch Valerie fondly sneak another peek at my drawing.
Can you give me a ride to the beach tomorrow?
Well, I guess I can, and we're going to take a look at the beach episode. Next time, I'm going to end the episode here. As always, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to let me know by hitting the like button down below or leaving a comment. It really does help me out. If you are new to the channel or have not done so already, make sure to unleash your power by hitting the subscribe button down below today as well. Feel free to follow me at social media. Links to my Twitter and Instagram will be in the description down below, and I will see all you heroes in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. May the Force be with you, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.